How's it going, guys? Randall aka Shizukatsu here on the Tressa's Collectibles channel, and today we're going to be taking a look at the 8 Pants deck for Ayakashi Triangle. This deck has a rather unique playstyle compared to most decks in Weiss Schwarz, where the main goal of this deck is simply to not die. A lot of decks used by Western players tend to take a more aggressive approach, favoring high-impact finisher lines. But if you're looking for a deck that emphasizes longevity, this might be the deck for you. Let's take a look. Let's begin with the level 3 combo, since this is the centerpiece of the deck's strategy. The level 3 Suzu is 11k power by default, higher than the average level 3 character, due to her ability which makes her level 0 and hexproof while on stage. Notably, this means that Suzu cannot be removed from the board with anti-overlevel abilities, but it does make her susceptible to level 0 bombs. On play, you can heal a character in your clock to memory, and her Climax Combo lets you heal 1 or burn 1 on attack. Typically, you will be using the heal mode throughout most of the mid to late game to try to stay as low damage as possible. The level 2 Suzu has a Climax Combo change to the level 3, which is how we play her early. Additionally, she has the on-play effect of drawing a card by clocking an Omiko City character from the waiting room to the bottom of your clock. This can allow you to draw into additional copies of the Suzus or copies of her Climax, and the ability becomes basically free once you factor in the heals from the level 3. The cost is an extremely important part of this card as well, though. Since the cost clocks a character from the waiting room, this can be used in various ways to synergize with other cards in the list. If you need color to play non-blue cards such as the 2-0 event, you can clock those colors from waiting room. If you need a Suzu Brainstorm in your clock for the early play condition of the Yellow Matsuri or Suzu Fumio, you can clock the Suzu Brainstorm from waiting room. Alternatively, you can clock cards that you want to add to your hand using the on-play clock swap effect of the Suzu Brainstorm to grab the card that you put into your clock. At worst, you can clock something that you won't need for the rest of the game and then send it to memory with level 3 Suzu once you change into her. The ideal level 2 game involves playing triple level 2 Suzu, clocking yourself until you're 2-6 to draw extra cards, and then using the Climax Combo to change into triple level 3 Suzu, healing 3 times to memory with their on-play effects, and healing 3 more times with their Climax Combos to bring you all the way back down to 2-0. From there, you simply want to continue using the Suzu combo turn after turn to stay healthy until your opponent is in a range where switching to burn 1s can secure you the victory. At level 1, we have Summer Suzu. This card is also level 0 on stage due to her first ability, and sits at a constant 5500 power. Her Climax Combo is very simple. When you play the Climax, if she's in the front row, you search your deck for a character and add it to hand. This is a great way to secure your pieces for the level 2 game, which you will need a lot of. Before we get into the rest of the list, there is one last card I think is worth mentioning, as long as we're talking about the Climax Combos. The level 0 Lucy support has a handy Pants filter effect, and her assist effect gives specifically level 0 characters in front of her 1000 additional power. Since both of our Climax Combos are level 0 while on stage, they can benefit from the boost that this Lucy provides, bringing them up to 6500 for the level 1 combo and 12,000 for the level 3. In particular, the 12k power on Suzu level 3 is very relevant against the Tensura matchup. With a Climax in play, Suzu will be at 13k offensive power, which can contest the 12-5 Murons that Tensura will often have. As a result, I think the Lucy is a very important card to be running right now, even outside of just her normal Pants filter utility. Now on to the rest of the list. The 0 line is probably the most flexible part of this deck archetype, and there are a lot of interesting alternative level 0 options that you could run instead of the ones we've chosen for this list. We'll take a look at some of them later on in the deck profile. Starting our level 0 line, we have the Matsuri and Suzu 3500 Chaser. This card is functionally identical to the Milim Chaser from Tensura, which is a very strong early game card. It does come with the downside that all of your opponent's characters get paid to Encore, but a lot of the time this isn't going to come into play. When supported by the Lucy support, it grows even higher to 4500 power, making it extremely difficult to kill by opposing level 0s, especially given its ability to move in front of their smaller characters. We also run the Suzu Riki as a way to secure important early to mid game pieces, such as the level 1 Climax Combo or Brainstorm. While this is our ideal turn 2 play, we're only using 2 copies as its usability greatly diminishes later on in the game. Another fantastic early game profile is the level 0 Matsuri. This card is a Ditch Climax salvage, letting us get rid of extra Pants Climaxes for characters that we need from the waiting room, but also comes with the Bell effect on top. At the start of the opponent's attack phase, pay 1 and clock 1 to bounce herself plus one of our other characters on stage. This not only allows us to potentially reuse the Ditch Climax salvage effect of the Matsuri, but also other on-play abilities in the deck such as the Suzu Brainstorm. It also clears the way for our Matsuri Chaser to run wherever she pleases, giving us lots of potential early game plussing. Just watch out for matchups such as Tensura, Nazarick, and Avatar, since those decks have access to -500 power abilities that can blast this Matsuri off the board before she has a chance to use her ability. 2 copies of the red level 0 Suzu and 2 copies of the yellow level 0 Lucy give us a bit of deck speed and also contribute to our color counts. Suzu has an on-attack Azusa effect, discarding 1 card to look at up to 4 cards for a character, while Lucy has the Fukajiro effect, looking for a level 1 or higher card instead. Notably, Lucy is also a stock bomb, letting her trade with any opposing level 0, while also denying opposing on-death and on-reverse abilities. The Suzu Brainstorm is an extremely strong card. On top of her Rest Self-Salvage Brainstorm effect, she has an on-play ability of grabbing any card from the clock and putting any card from hand on top of the clock. As mentioned earlier, this has great synergy with the level 2 Suzu, but it is a generally useful ability at any point in the game for expanding your options. Since this card is usable just parked in the back row like a normal Brainstorm, as well as when played from hand with the on-play effect, on top of being the clock condition for multiple of our level 3s, we're playing a full 4 copies in our list. Chibi Yayoi is a very powerful utility piece. On attack during the turn she's placed on stage from hand, she acts as a double drop search, grabbing us 2 cards that we need for our mid-game. We're running just a single copy in our list due to space constraints, but some players prefer to run more than one given how efficient the card is. Of course, we can't finish our level 0 line without a Climax Swapper, even though this is an 8 Pants deck. The only level 0 Climax Swap in Ayakashi is this level 0 Suzu, which has a Climax combo that we aren't using in this deck, so she's basically a vanilla Climax Swap with 500 less power. Here's a few other level 0 options that you can consider running. The Matsuri and Suzu Drop Salvage is another card that can put specific cards from the waiting room into your clock, setting you up for the on-play clock swap of the Suzu Brainstorm. Combined with its own drop salvage ability, it can essentially get you 2 cards that you want at the same time. The level 0 Shirogane can serve as a ditch bonder to the 2-0 event we'll look at later, giving you a bit more consistency in having your pieces for level 2. Additionally, he can change into a 2-1 assist Shirogane that can give your Suzus up to 2k additional power. This level 0 Matsuri can be a pretty nice tech if 8 Standby Hololive ends up being a prominent deck in the metagame. Her act ability can clear 2 Lunas off the board at the same time, making it a powerful counter against that deck's late game, which can otherwise be too high in power for Suzu to attack into. Moving on to our level 1 line, we only have one character other than the combo, since we just plan to play the level 1 combo at level 1, and then move on to our changers at level 2. The Suzu from the trial deck gains 3k on play, going up to a reasonable 5500 offense, and on play she has the Rico effect. This is a perfectly reasonable filler card to play at level 1 if we don't have triple combo, and her on play effect might net us a card that we need for our level 2 game, or maybe another copy of our level 1 combo if we don't already have 2 copies in our hand. At level 2, apart from the Climax Combo changers, we run 2 counters and 3 events. The 2 counters we run are to protect our level 3 Suzus once we've established them on our board. One Memory Kit counter prioritizes higher power on a single lane, boosting Suzu up to 14k or even 15k if she has Lucy backing her up, while the Anti-Change Lucy counter can serve as double defense against multi-early play decks like Kanata Hololive, while also guaranteeing your entire board will live against Eins from Nazarick, lest your opponent throw their entire game plan in the trash can by front attacking into your board. We aren't running any copies of the minus Soul Soga counters in this deck because it simply doesn't make sense to do so. Our Suzu line will always be level 0, thus the opponent can simply side attack them for free and play around the counter. The 2-0 event for the purposes of this deck only has one effect: salvage a level 2 or higher character. Obviously, we're mainly using this to grab our Suzu level 2s and 3s, but it can also be a handy card to grab one of our counters or one of level 3s, all of which have their own unique uses. Speaking of which, let's take a look at those 1-ofs next. Starting with the Reo 4 or more early play, this is a powerful early play card that can be used as either a healer or a top check 3 cantrip. Both modes are useful, but more often than not you will use her for the top check 3 to try to dig for another Suzu Pants Climax for your level 3s. 3 heals is better than 1 heal after all. Next, we have the Matsuri early play, which can be played at level 2 if you have the Suzu Brainstorm in your clock. This card is a fantastic tech against Tensura, which is the main reason that we're using it in this list. She gets plus 4500 power and anti-backup cross turn, and upon reversing a level 2 or higher opponent, you'll get a stock refund as well from your waiting room. This is the perfect third lane to beat up Tensura's triple Miron board, with double Suzu backed up by Lucy being your other 2 attackers. The Suzu Fumio is the deck's only way to beat compression. By shuffling garbage back from your opponent's waiting room into their deck, you can make it much easier to stick damage, which is really important given this deck's inability to do high volumes of damage. Just like Matsuri, this Suzu can also be early played if you have Suzu Brainstorm in your clock, giving you a way to mess with your opponent's deck even if you stay at level 2 like the deck wants to. Finally, we have the Trial Deck Suzu level 3, which is an aggressive off-climax finisher. On play, she can send one of your other characters from stage to stock, and on attack during the turn she's placed, you can pay 2 and ditch 1 to burn 4. This is basically the cost that you would pay for a burn 4 on an actual Climax Combo finisher, making her a very cost-effective card, especially considering she's an off finisher. The overall strategy of the deck is very straightforward. You want to use the level 0 line to set up for your Suzu level 1 combo turn, which will in turn set up your Suzu changers. At level 2, you want to change, heal some more, and then eventually win the game by outlasting your opponent. A core strength of this deck is that it will devalue your opponent's cancels while simultaneously increasing the value of your own. By swinging with Pants Climaxes every turn and not leaving any open lanes for your opponent to direct attack into, you will constantly attack for 3s and 4s while your opponent will often be swinging for measly 1s and 2s. This means that a single attack of yours sticking will often be matching the damage of 2 or even 3 attacks from your opponent. Add on the safety net of Suzu healing twice or even 3 times every turn, and you essentially put up a wall that your opponent needs to break through, or else they will simply bleed out until they lose. In terms of color priority, you should obviously prioritize blue as it's the main color of the deck. Between red and yellow, red is usually the higher priority second color since you need red to play the 2-0 event that can grab you your level 2 pieces. However, in matchups such as Tensura, where the Matsuri early play can be extremely strong, consider prioritizing yellow instead. Of course, you have the 2-1 Suzu that can clock whatever color you might need from the waiting room, so be sure to take advantage of that whenever it comes up. Next, let's talk about matchups. Many would agree that 3 of the strongest decks in the metagame at the time of this recording are Tensura, Nazarick, and 7 Deadly Sins. In my opinion, Tensura and Nazarick matchups should trend towards Ayakashi favored, with Tensura's Miron being contestable by our Matsuri and Suzu setup, while Nazarick's Eins shouldn't really be able to do much to our board due to all of our Suzu level 3s being hexproof. Meanwhile, SDS has the Escanor level 0 bomb that can be a gigantic pain to deal with. They can easily deal with our Suzus, completely ignoring their high power on stage and sending them straight to stock. For that reason, I would consider SDS to be one of the biggest roadblocks for Ayakashi's success. Funnily enough, since SDS doesn't exist in Japanese, this is the first time these decks would ever be able to face off against each other in the same format. And that's going to do it for our Ayakashi Triangle deck profile. Be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and stay tuned for our upcoming gameplay block, where we'll be featuring this build of Ayakashi as well as several others. If you're looking to see all of the different options Ayakashi has to offer, be sure to check out those upcoming videos, but until then, this has been Randall aka Shizukats on the Tressa's Collectibles channel. See ya!